Hello again, and welcome to the last semantics clip. Woohoo! If you're on the lookout for the basic sign models, feature semantics, connotation and frame, or prototype theory, head right over to the respective videos by clicking here, or just watch the entire semantics chapter. Are you ready for the last introductory session of semantics? Let's go! You probably know such sentences as, "Nighttime spread its wings over the lands," or "Her beauty was in full bloom." You would probably call these figures of speech metaphor. Now, metaphors are not only a stylistic device in literature, but are also a central concern in cognitive linguistics. We will show you in a minute that we use metaphor in our everyday speaking more often than you think. Cognitive linguistics tries to model meaning in close connection with mental processes. So basically it asks how our brain processes meaning and how it structures and stores it. As we said before, metaphors pop up in our language even if we aren't really aware of it. Cognitive linguists say that expressions like, "I will see you in an hour," and "she found herself in a sticky situation," contain metaphors. As you see, we have treated time and the situation as if they were a place, a box with boundaries, in which there is a location or a starting and end point. Bet you never noticed that before. So what happened here is that we used something concrete, place and location, to describe something more abstract, like time. We used a concrete source domain to describe an abstract target domain. This feature of metaphor is called abstraction. This means we use something we understand quite well, like physically palpable space, to describe something not so understandable, like time. It's important to know that metaphor is based in similarity. Basically, what we do is compare time with a box or compartment, and you can say, yeah, actually time really does behave like a container, so we can use the attributes of the container to describe the time. This process is called mapping and introduces us to a second feature of metaphor, systematicity. Systematicity means that aspects of the source domain can be mapped onto the target domain in more than one case. Let's have a look at another example, like life is a journey. We find ourselves at a crossroads when having to make decisions that have a great impact on our lives. We have come a long way when we have developed our character, or we change direction when changing jobs or ending relationships. To say journey is life doesn't really work, does it? A trip to Central Asia isn't born. This describes one more important fact about metaphor. Metaphor is asymmetrical. Asymmetry means that mapping only works in one direction, namely from the source domain toward the target domain, and not the other way around. Metonymy is quite similar to metaphor. Remember, metaphor talks about one thing by using something else that is not directly related to it, but resembles the first in some aspects. Metonymy uses a direct, immediate relationship between the two things that actually exist in reality. You use a term from the frame surrounding the object to talk about it, like saying, Buckingham Palace announced the birth of baby Charlotte, when actually meaning the royal family announced the birth of baby Charlotte. Or when you say you enjoy a glass of wine, when you actually mean you enjoy drinking wine in small amounts. And here comes our final recap. Metaphor and metonymy are models of cognitive linguistics showing how meaning is connected to cognitive processes in our brain. Metaphors use concrete concepts to talk about unrelated abstract concepts and therefore map aspects of the concrete source domain onto the abstract target domain. This abstract mapping is asymmetrical and systematic. Metonymy is based on an existing real connection between the things that are talked about. Usually a term from the frame surrounding the actual object can be used. Phew! 1 topic, 6 clips, and a whole lot to process. Well done so far. This concludes our little excursion into the semantics section of linguistics. Thanks for watching, and if your thirst for linguistics has not been quenched, then head right over to other introductory playlists on the other topics that we talk about in our introductory course. Cheers and bye-bye!